Hey guys, talk and drive. Welcome to Australia. As much as I will disappoint our Australian and New Zealand viewers, I probably better adjust the picture for the majority of the audience who is on the upper hemisphere. Yeah, that's better. Sorry for the sore neck, Aussies. We are in a Super V8 Reiza Studios, one of the following cars. It's work in progress regarding everything. I am on Bathurst, of course. Sorry about the pronunciation if that's at all wrong. But I'm gonna make up for that by driving off, leaving some number 11s. This is not an official Reiza Studios circuit, but it will be it's a good conversion with some updates. And you have to drive a V8 Supercar type car. It's a Super V8, it's not a V8 Supercar. Here on this track, I'm just back from holiday. So here are some excuses. I haven't driven for a while, but I want to get this video out. And I can't hear myself talk with this loud Super V8, which sounds super if anything. There are some changes to the rig, as you can see. There is a projector, which was supposed to have 16 millisecond input lag, but it doesn't, 33, which is borderline, so okay, can still drive it reasonably well. It's just a test really. I probably still prefer the low latency of screens, but the force feedback on another update. This is the 23 Newton meter Leo Bodnar sim steering system. The normal system has about 16, so this is more. And then today John from Leo Bodnar told me that it's more likely to be about 26. So makes me feel a bit less wimpy. Sorry, gearbox. However, I'm running some laps now. It's an 8-lap race at low force feedback in order to survive, to not make a giant fool of myself. As I blip, which you have to do. These are fairly manual cars. They do have power steering, so I'm allowed to take it easy. But later in this video, at the end, I'll do a couple of laps with simulated loss of power steering for your entertainment and my torture. You have to hand it to the Australians with the rules and the specifications of the V8 Supercar. That's just what the doctor ordered for sim racing. You got over 600 horsepower, about 650, and in a pretty big, long wheelbase saloon car that doesn't have a lot of downforce. I will get to the downforce in later, perhaps. It doesn't have the widest slicks. It doesn't have super hard suspension. And with all that power in the front engine car, it's front heavy, of course. You get about as much oversteer as you want. So it's a lesson in self-restraint. As much as anything. I love this Bathurst track. I only got into it recently when doing this car, the physics for it. This is a SRM track, which is very good, but that won't stop me from complaining about it, which is basically hiding behind my own lack of skill today. Some of the banking, transitions and elevation changes are a little sudden, but overall they did a great job, and it really captures the atmosphere, I guess, somewhat. Using the engine and still missing the apex. Yeah, that's why we short shift on that corner. Just in a limiter, down 2 gears. Being quite heavy cars and doing silly speeds, the brakes, they take a lot of abuse. So you have to work on your brake ducting and decide what you want. Do you want instant bite at the end of the straight, so the brake discs are still hot, but then they will fade as they heat up at the end of the braking zone? Or do you want a bit more ducting and have a bit less initial bite at the end of the straight, but more brakes left over at the end of the braking zone? And that's interesting, as it messes with your optimal braking, because normally you let go of the brakes slowly as you start to turn into the corner, but if you have brake fade, even if you maintain the same pedal pressure, effectively you're letting go of the brakes because they are fading and applying less braking torque. So there are that's a bit of a paint scrape there. As the bottom rubs. I forget how tricky it is to drive and talk, you know. English is not my native language, so I have to run Google Translate in my head, drive upside down, although we corrected that, and try to come up with something to talk about. Anyway, at this end of this straight the brakes are a bit cold. So I hammer on them and they don't bite super hard initially. Plus there's this crest, and now here they're still okay, but now they're very hot and there's not enough of us happening here. Well, plenty happening, but not regarding brake cooling to cool the brakes for this one. So here at the end now they're fading a little, which messes with my entry sometimes. Now I'm messing up the entry for all sorts of reasons. And the same this corner as well, overheating brake, so entry while releasing the brake is a bit difficult. Also probably the first time I'm driving a car with the seat on the wrong, well, I'll leave that up to you, side of the car. So I've been in the grass here many times. Just in 5th gear, down 2 gears. Here the banking goes away suddenly and it leads to oversteer always, to be careful about that. Down 2 gears, short shift here. I'm almost kind of flat out, a bit nervous at the wheel, sorry about the lack of smoothness, perhaps I'll improve towards the end of the session. Yeah. Little brake, over the curb. I've had some very scary moments there as I completely missed the apex. This won't be the best skill display I have ever done. Third. Try to stay close to the right there. Brief burst of throttle, missing another apex. And here we hit, or not quite hit the limiter in 6th, doing almost 300 kilometers an hour to slow this 1400 something kilo car down all the way to 2nd gear. And there's a little brow here where the car is light and you start braking there, and here the dip, you got a lot of grip because the car is pushed into the ground. So you get a funny brake trace in your telemetry. Super interesting track. This is the corner you can never get right. I just don't know what I'm doing. Missing the apex or going over the curb, which upsets the car. But overall, I must say, this is just about as much fun as I've had in sim racing, just because of the nature of the beast. Lots of power going to the rear wheels with a torquey, powerful V8. That's just about all you need really to get scared and sweaty in this case. Manual blipping, they heel and toe, kinda, but I'll confess to being a softie today and doing left foot braking with blips on the right foot. Yeah, that's why we short shift there. Just a little bit of the brakes, on the inside, on this curb, very close to the wall. Let's see. Over that curb. I see the brake pills are starting to work. The best lap I'm hoping for is a 2:08, so don't expect Greg Murphy. He wasn't available for this talk and drive. So you're stuck with me. At least you cannot smell the dubious odors that come from my shirt. Down lots of gears, short shift, even then it's not that hard to get the back out. Limiter, hard on the brakes, which I've also wimped out on. They're about 70 kilos and I keep hearing they need about 100 kilos. So I'm in full wimp mode just to make a bit less of a fool of myself. Power, you gotta love it. Although, as much as you gotta love it, you also have to control it, which I'm not doing. Yeah, you just about hit the limiter in 5th. I have to watch that banking that falls away though, and watch the apex that's invisible because it's a mile over that way. Bit of understeer. Never lasts long before it's replaced with over exuberance oversteer if you're on the right foot a bit. Oh, two wheels. Oh, save. That was 2 wheels. If you hit those curbs a bit hard, the car can go on 2 wheels, and you don't have to be Einstein to understand that 2 wheels provide less grip than 4, so you're in a world of trouble if you're on 2 wheels. Unless by pure luck you save it, which I did. Okay, well I'm driving pretty poorly. And that's with functional power steering, so to say. So if you want to see true failure, you have to hang on until the end. You saw a clean couple of corners. Yep. It's quite controllable, although you don't have to try too hard to get into an irrecoverable situation. Even though it's a big car, often because it moves around a bit, not having a lot of downforce and having a bit soft suspension, the steering inputs are quite small if you get it right, indicating that it's quite a neutral car at times. And then in the hairpins you have to apply a lot more steering lock. But like here a bit, but at speed if you get it right, it's quite communicative and it doesn't understeer or oversteer. It's quite neutral, yet it's in a bit of a slide all the time. Let's not kill myself today. Oh, I will. Oh, another bit of paint. Well, you know what they did with Mercedes in the 30s? They discovered that without paint the car is lighter and goes quicker, or sticks to the regulations, minimum weight requirements. But anyway, that means I've lost half a pound of paint, so that 205 is only a matter of formality now. No, it won't be. I'll try to do at least one good lap. I am quite talky today, not so drivey. No hands. That's late, that's late, that's late. Oh, 209, that's really slow. Oh, one lap to go. Okay, I'll shut up. More power. Actually, no. Not more power, it's enough. Damn. Sorry. Oh, camera pressure. I know, excuses. Well, nobody will stop me from doing another lap. So I will do just that. Peace and quiet. Briefly. Well, 208. Let's see if it counts this lap. Then I'll turn up the full force feedback and talk about that while crashing. Tricky exit, super tricky. Oh, sliding, sliding, sliding. Excellent, that's a little four-wheel drift. It isn't all that serious, but just about 5 or 6 degrees slip angle. Oh, should have gone on the throttle there. Forgot it. This car and track combination is a bit like teaching Andre the Giant how to figure skate. Even if he does his best, it'll always be a bit of a struggle. losing a bit of the engine. Okay guys, that was some sort of thing. I'll now switch to the full hardcore force feedback mode.